The Pioneer is working hard to bring you all the details of the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. The war is getting fiercer and fiercer every day on the entire front line. In a moment, we will analyze the developments on the map according to the latest reports. We will share with you the latest situation at the points where the fighting is intensifying on the front line. Let's start with the Pioneer's Daily Map Report. You can subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss daily map reports and up-to-date analysis on the war between Russia and Ukraine. You can also support our team who prepared this work by using the Super Thanks button. The Pioneer Report. It is possible to say that the intensity of the clashes has increased in recent days on almost the entire front line. Ukrainian artillery units are supporting the operations organized by the Ukrainian infantry units. The Ukrainian artillery attacks on the Russian fortification behind the front line are breaking the power of the Russian army to a great extent. In recent days, Ukrainian Defense Ministry spokesperson Hanna Maliar has frequently referred to the cities of Mariupol, Melitopol and Berdyansk and stated that the Ukrainian army continues to advance. According to Maliar's latest reports, this advance continues. Ukrainian artillery is shelling many of these cities, especially Berdyansk, at regular intervals. According to local sources, within a week, many points in Berdyansk have been hit by successful Ukrainian artillery shelling. Ukrainian infantry soldiers, on the other hand, continue their advance by carrying out sudden attacks on Russian troops on the front line. Let's look at the route of this advance on the map according to the latest reports from local sources. The gunfire has not stopped for days in almost the entire region, which we call the Zaporizhia front line. In recent days, the fighting has become more intense in and around Vuhledar. For example, Novodonetsky is one of these points. The Ukrainian army is conducting a furious offensive operation here with artillery support. According to local sources, Ukrainian troops advancing south of Zoltaniva are attacking Russian positions with heavy machine guns. According to the allegations, the losses of the Russian troops in the region are quite high. In coming days, it is possible that this region will be under the control of the Ukrainian army. Another striking point on the Zaporizhia front line is Robotin. As you know, the Ukrainian army has launched an intense attacks from the north of region in recent days. According to allegations, the Russian positions in the area east of Robotin have almost been overcome. According to Russian sources, the Russian defense lines east of Robotin have been broken. The units of Russian armed forces have retreated about 150 meters at the various points in the city. On the other hand, Ukrainian troops are reported to have advanced about 300 meters in the direction of the city. The clashes in Robotin were the fiercest since the start of the counteroffensive. They are reported to be fiercest since the start of the counteroffensive. Russian troops have allegedly withdrawn to southern border of the town. However, we have not yet been able to confirm this. The withdrawal points of the Russian army is important, because according to the information we have obtained from the region, Russian troops are regularly resupplied in this position. If the Ukrainian army manages to advance to this area, it will have captured both the town and these important supply lines. Another notable incident in the Zaporizhia front line took place in Novozlatopil. Novozlatopil, located almost in the middle of the Zaporizhia front line, was a military facility used by the Russian army. However, after the Ukrainian army's attacks on the region, this facility was destroyed. It is estimated that the facility contained Russian soldiers as well as a large amount of ammunition. According to the allegations, Russian casualties in the region are quite high. It also reported that many armored vehicles in the facility were destroyed after the Ukrainian attack. In Tokmak, which is behind the same front line, there are quite remarkable developments. In recent days, Russian sources have shared an interesting claims about Tokmak region with the public. According to the reports of the Russian sources, a violent attack on the Tokmak region may begin very soon. In the aforementioned report, it is stated that the Ukrainian troops have not yet deployed their main reserves around Tokmak, but work on this issue has begun. According to the sources, a large number of Ukrainian troops are conducting small-scale drilling operations from the area north of Tokmak to the periphery of the city. These drilling attacks are allegedly preparations for Tokmak offensive that will begin in coming days. Let us now take a look at the latest developments in the southern Kherson region. The fighting at the Antonivsky Bridge continues unabated. We have been informed by sources that there are many Russian casualties in the region. Russian officials had recently made a public series of allegations about the disintegration of Ukrainian defenses in the region. However, these allegations were flatly denied by Russian sources in the region. These sources even claim that the situation at the bridgehead is quite depressing for Russia. Recently, Hanna Maliar, the field spokesperson for the Ukrainian Southern Operational Command, also made statements and made a series of assessments about the clashes on and around the Antonivsky Bridge. Hanna Maliar's statements are as follows. Heavy fighting continues in the Antonivsky Bridge area. There is a fierce battle of territorial defense between our defenders and the invaders in this area. We have lost control of the areas dominated by our troops in the area. We are regularly reinforcing our troops. Now let's take a look at the latest developments in the north. As always, when we talk about the northern front line, we take the Bakhmut line. In Bakhmut, furious fighting continues in the northern and southern fronts, that's so-called wings. Ukrainian troops of the Eider battalion operating on the flanks of the Bakhmut continue their advances both in the south and north. According to the latest reports, hot clashes are ongoing at many points, including the borderline in the direction of Klishchivka. Looking at the latest situation in the northern direction of Bakhmut, we see that the activity on the Berkhivka and Yahidny fronts continues. According to local sources, the superiority of the Ukrainian troops in the north is greatly disturbing the Russian army. According to the latest reports, the Russian army's attacks in the direction of Berkhivka have increased. However, the Ukrainian troops taking positions in the region easily repel these attacks. Local sources also claim that during these attacks, Ukrainian troops not only repelled Russian troops, but also made great progress. It is reported that the Ukrainian troops have gained radical areas of control in the northeastern direction of Berkhivka. What do you think? Is the Ukrainian counteroffensive successful? How do you assess the developments on the front line? Are the Ukrainian army's attacks behind the front line are successful? How do you assess the statements of Ukrainian officials? Do you think Bakhmut will fall back under Ukrainian control? We value your opinion. Please share them with us.